All right, you guys saw the title of the video. I've been playing the Steam Deck for 30 days straight. I would say this actually marked the 30th day. Man, and do I got a lot to say about that. Honestly, like, to start off, I'd never expected that the Steam Deck would be such a life game changer for me. I kind of went in and I was intrigued by the concept of the Steam Deck. I love that you can tap into the Steam market, all of their library, whatever the library had to offer, in regards to like all of the games that you can't get on, the consoles that you're used to having, like, Xbox and PlayStation and Nintendo, which I have all of those. Actually, I have all but one of those consoles. I don't have an Xbox anymore. I used to. That's kind of like the ecosystem I started off in, really. Especially when I was younger, I was into like the Xbox 360 and all that. And then I slowly started to migrate back to the PlayStation, and I loved all of the, all of the games that came with those, with the PlayStation, because, they always have like the best exclusives, let's be honest. Uncharted, Spider-Man, Tomb Raider, you have Horizon Zero Dawn, all of those incredible, AAA games that they come out with every year. But Steam is starting to, work alongside Sony to bring some of those games to the actual platform. So we got God of War coming to the Steam now. We have, Horizon Zero Dawn. I think the first one is coming to Steam, and, The Last of Us, and all of these incredible titles that normally we can only experience that when we are on a PlayStation, but now we can experience that on the Steam Deck. We can experience that on PC, and I don't know, all of that just intrigued me. But anyways, that's kind of how I started getting into the thought of like, man, maybe I should get a Steam Deck. Maybe that would be what I need. And let me kind of backtrack too and help you to understand why I was intrigued by the Steam Deck. First and foremost, really, it was because of its form factor, because of its capability to be held in handheld mode. I'm more and more, as I'm growing into a very busy adult, I'm more and more not having enough time to go onto a big console like the PlayStation and just lock myself in a room for hours and play a game. Like, it's more so that I'm playing games in spurts now. So like maybe I'll play at an hour at most, but most times maybe 30 minutes or so, where I'm just taking a quick break and I'm about to play a game. So for me, that's kind of like what I've been experiencing with gaming as of recent. And I think that was what intrigued me the most about the Steam Deck. That and also, because it has a distinction between itself from a Nintendo Switch. I do have a Nintendo Switch, and I love the Nintendo Switch. I was starting to notice that it was getting slower and slower as time progressed. Like, the loading times to go into a game would be 30 seconds. And I'm like, wow, this is like taking a long time just to get to the loading screen of a game. And if you don't know, if you're busy like me, every second is valuable. You kind of want to just hop on a game, play a quick run through of a roguelike type of game, like maybe like Risk of Rain, or like, just get on a roguelike, like what is that? The Binding of Isaac, like something like that, where it's just a quick gameplay. You could go and maybe play for 10 minutes and then hop off. But like these 30-second loading screens are like like I already lost like a minute. So you don't have much time. But what I was basically saying is, yeah, that's kind of like what intrigued me the most. And I was like, man, this is a quicker device, faster than a Switch, more powerful than a Switch, and I can access this wide variety, big giant library where, the Nintendo Switch does get some of its catalog, but that's after it's been on Steam for months or years at even that, So, we're getting all of these games, even early access games like Fields of Mystria and, Rooftops and Alleys. These games are in early access, but you have access to them and you can play them while they're being developed by the developers. And these are things that really started to intrigue me. So I was like, oh snap, why don't I just get a Steam Deck? So I got the Steam Deck, and boy, let me tell you, man, It is awesome. Like I think my experience honestly is probably like most, where you get the Steam Deck and you're very excited. You already kind of know what it entails and what to expect, but it over exceeds the expectations, and it really truly just makes you so excited that you're gonna play this thing. So the first couple games I got, I would say, were there's this game called Astroneer, and basically you're on like this planet. It's not like Earth. It has a whole bunch of different things, and I barely scratched the surface on that game. That game is extremely intricate, but it was like one of the games I saw that was on sale for like $10. So I bought it and I played that for a while, and I was like, yo, this is sick. So I played that for quite some time, and I haven't gotten back into it. So if that's something you guys would like to see, like, let me know too. I'll start live streaming and doing something like that. But I actually started live streaming Minecraft too. Shameless plug. If you guys are not tuned with what I'm doing for live streaming, go ahead and check out the past 2 live streams I've done on Minecraft. It's so fun. You guys are gonna love it, and I want to kind of build a community there where we can chat, we could vibe out together, and have some fun. So go ahead and check out the live streams. I'm gonna be doing them probably like once or twice a week, who knows, maybe on Fridays and days where everybody's kind of capable of getting on and tuning in. So that'd be sick. But yeah, so I played that Astroneer game, and then I went into this game called 2 games actually. These are old games. They're Fallout New Vegas and Fallout 3. Those are some of my favorite franchises for games. Like, Bethesda killed those ones. Those were my favorite growing up. I played Fallout 3 on the PlayStation 3, and and then I got Fallout New Vegas on the PlayStation 3, and I played that, and it was like honestly some of my most favorite experiences. And that's what kind of tapped me into Skyrim and those open world games like that back in the day, where open world really meant that the world was alive and there were so many things to do. Not like now, where open world just means like it's a big place, and you go throughout the entire world, but really it's a linear progression, and all the other stuff are just filler stuff, and it's not really fun. Skyrim is that prime example where you go into a side quest and you feel like you're doing a main quest. Like, that's how incredibly detailed the game was. But anyways, I digress. So those were the first 3 games I played, and then I started to build my catalog. I would say in just this month that of me playing the Steam Deck, I probably got 20 games. Okay, and hear me out. I am a hard working, barely middle class person. So getting these games, it's not because I was able to afford them all at full price. A lot of games on Steam end up going on sale for under $10. So I'm out here seeing a game that, is normally $30 for $5. And I'm like, I can't pass that up. So I go ahead and I buy the game, and then I go into this endless loop, and I buy like 5 games, ending up only costing me $20. And voila, basically I have this incredible catalog of 5 new games that I can play, and I only spent $20. As opposed to going to the PlayStation or going to your Nintendo Switch, especially Nintendo, that they don't even want anything to be on sale, especially their own games, should I say. They do get games on sale, but let's be honest, most of the games you can get on an even better sale on Steam. But anyways, that's what I'm trying to say. Like, that's what made me first even love the Steam Deck even more as I'm experiencing it, as I was getting, comfortable with, the new OS, which Steam OS is awesome, guys. Like, that's why all of these other handheld companies, these PC handhelds, want to have Steam OS on there, in their hardware, because Steam OS is amazing. It's incredible. And I think Steam and Valve are working on getting Steam OS on all of those other devices, like the Lenovo Go and the ROG Ally X and all that stuff. Like, all of those would, honestly, they'd probably sell even more because of the fact that the new iterations of them or whatever will have Steam OS. So, whatever. I digress. Anyways, yeah, so I'm loving the Steam Deck. I'm loving Steam OS. I'm loving the library that it has, and how there's so many games that go on sale so often. And I built this catalog of 20 games, and what blows my mind is how powerful the Steam Deck is, right? I come from the Nintendo Switch in a handheld form, and technically my phone. I guess I did some emulation on my phone before. I played some games like Hyper Light, I think that's the name of the game, played Minecraft on my phone, things like that. And I was in awe by that. I was like, wow, you can do this all on a, handheld phone, whatever. And it was incredible. And I always thought to myself, yeah, surely, like, there's never going to be something as powerful to play a game like God of War on, handheld. And man, well, was I in awe by the fact that I'm able to play games like Need for Speed Heat, able to play games like Fallout on there, playing games that are incredibly demanding. And I'm like, what? This is able to be done on the Steam Deck? Of course, you have to kind of, with the caveat of that, there is a caveat where you have to use, different settings. Some games you can perform with 30 frames per second. And other games you have to, put it at 45 frames per second in order for it to not buffer and for you not to experience, dips in the frame rate and stuff like that, and have a consistency with your frame rate. But in my personal opinion, I don't have any problem whatsoever with having the Steam Deck be at 30 frames per second and I'm playing God of War. I don't know about you, but there's some people that are extremely picky and they're like, I need every game at 60 frames. Dude, I'm not that guy. I can play God of War Ragnarok at 30 frames and I'd be the happiest guy alive. I don't have to worry about all that stuff. But anyways, yeah, I was in complete awe, and I think I love all of the games that I've gotten. Like, I think all of the games I've gotten, like Risk of Rain, I started playing that. That was one of the first roguelike games I bought for the Steam Deck. And this past month, I played it so much, and after that, I kind of started falling in love with another game, Balatro. And I've been playing that game. I don't even want to tell you guys how long I've been playing that one. I picked that game up at least once a day. And we got Fields of Mystria that's still on early access, which I think the developer said that the game would be fully finished by 2025, which is right around the corner, guys. In fact, this video might be put out in 2025 because I already have so many videos scheduled to go up on this channel. So yeah, I mean, I'm so excited. This next year is about to be so crazy for gaming. The Steam Deck community, yo, we are about to get so much incredible games, and I'm so excited. But yeah, this experience of having a Steam Deck has been one of the greatest things ever. It really changed my whole perspective with gaming. It made me feel like, like I could actually game in this time, in this season of my life where, things are really busy. As an adult right now, I feel like, especially as Americans, if you're an American working in America right now, you guys know that you are working at least 40 hours a week or more so that you can get food on the table every week, every day. So like, it's important to have these outlets, and gaming has become that outlet for me. I love it so much. In fact, like streaming the other day and streaming even today, I streamed the last episode. I guess it was the second episode of my Minecraft series, and it was so fun. It's another outlet for me. I'm enjoying myself, but I'm also sharing the experience with all of you. And that's what gaming is. Regardless if you have a Steam Deck, regardless if you have a Nintendo Switch or a PlayStation or whatever have you, it's important that we have like these kind of outlets, especially as adults. I'm a father, a husband, and having these outlets are extremely helpful, for all of us, really. So yeah, man. And I would say lastly, to put on, my experience with the Steam Deck, it has been truly like my companion. I've taken it almost everywhere with me. But mostly I play it on my couch, and I'm watching a movie with my wife or watching a TV show with my wife and just putting Balatro on, and I'm playing a little bit of Balatro while I'm watching that TV show. I'm a very multitasking person. So like for me, my wife got me this attachment to the Steam Deck where it has MagSafe magnet, so I can just put my phone on there. So what I've been doing recently, which I recommend to you guys, if I can find it, I'll put it into the description. I'll put it down there. It's basically a MagSafe thing. You can put your phone onto the Steam Deck and it'll be right above it. You can watch YouTube videos and play your Steam Deck at the same time. Trust me, this is top tier gaming, y'all. Top tier. Next thing I need is like a little thing where I can put all of my snacks, and I can snack on food and whatever while I'm playing the Steam Deck and watching YouTube with my MagSafe thing that can put my phone on it. So yeah, I mean, I've been having such a blast. I have the LCD model, not even the OLED model, and I know people are telling me that OLED model is like whew, it's like beautiful. I mean, I think it's the only PC handheld that has an OLED model, so it's really got the upper hand when it comes to the other PC handhelds, should I say. And I love it so much. You know, I love that Steam is doing that. I love that they have these models. I surely hope that the next iteration of the Steam Deck that comes out maybe in the next couple years has the OLED model just to start. That'd be sick. Otherwise, you know, I guess if they did have both models, it'd be cool for the people that can't necessarily afford the upper end OLED models and they can have an LCD version of it. That'd be really nice actually too. But for me in particular, I'll save the extra money and I'll get that OLED model next time because I love it. I've seen my sister with the OLED Switch and it looks incredible. So anyways, nonetheless, man, thank y'all for watching. This channel has been honestly one of the most funnest things I've ever experienced, you know, creating and building this community with you guys is so fun to, you know, see all of you guys interacting with each other, especially with me, and then we have conversations over the, you know, comment section. So yeah, it's super sick. I guess I'll see you guys in the next video, and thank y'all for watching. Make sure you guys like and subscribe, and so we can push this to more people in the algorithm. All right, I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye.